Friday, and the guys are live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the price. Wright Toyota, located at 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale. Now back to the guys on ESPN 620.
Star is born tonight. He's a special kid, man. I'm telling you, it's obviously amazing stuff. But he's shown us this from the jump. Like, he is not afraid. He expects this. And I'm not going to say what he told me last night, but I'm not surprised at all by what he did.
Yeah, courtesy of Yes Network, as what a flat-out dominance last night by Cam Schlittler, who just was amazing. 12 strikeouts, no walks, 8 scoreless innings. And joining us now from the city of brotherly love in my hometown is Bob Nightengale, USA Today baseball columnist, and he joins us now here on ESPN Radio Phoenix. Bob, thanks so much. Cheesesteak, possibly you're going to squeeze in a cheesesteak as you're out there, or maybe stop at Wawa, get something good to eat there?
Yeah, definitely some cheesesteak for sure. Yeah, got some good eating place in Philadelphia. Great place.
Did you go to the game yesterday? Were you in New York yesterday?
No, I flew here from LA yesterday. So, I saw the game on TV, but I was not there.
So from your perspective, how rare and impressive was that kind of postseason debut by Cam?
No, it's unbelievable. I mean, even the Phillies are talking about today, like, for him to have so few starts and be in that environment, showing no nerves at all, with everything on the line. So, yeah, when the best pitching performance we've ever seen by a young guy like that making his postseason debut. So, particularly you have 12 strikeouts and no walks and going 8 innings. I mean, not even the veterans do that.
Yeah. And when you watch him, Bob, just the complete control, even though he had 107 pitches, was pretty much on par, but I really felt the control he had in throwing strikes the majority of the time. 75 strikes out of 107 pitches. Talk about dominance, confidence, and all the above with that.
Yeah, it'd be interesting how that translates, carries over in the next round against the Blue Jays. But yeah, if they can hit pitches like that, you got Max Fried, obviously. Carlos Rodon's a veteran. So all of a sudden, a team on the brink of, being out. You had to win back-to-back games against the Red Sox. Now they look as good as they have all season, or it gives them a chance to get to the World Series.
As we look at the 4 teams, the Brewers, Mariners, Blue Jays, and Tigers all have title droughts, stretching to decades. And, of course, Milwaukee and Seattle still looking for that first championship. Of those 4 teams, which one do you think has the best chance to get there and possibly end that drought?
I would say Seattle. Just they have the pitching that, been knocking on the door for years. Couldn't get in the playoffs, and now here they are. You got a great closer in Munoz, great starting pitching. The offense, particularly Josh Naylor, fitting in so comfortably there. Suarez has been okay, but particularly Naylor. I give him a chance. They could certainly get to a World Series. If I had to pick a team right now in the American League, I'd probably pick the Blue Jays, though. It's been a while since they've been there. They repeated 92, 93. But I think on paper right now, they may have the best chance.
Bob, everybody talks about Cal Raleigh and his home run prowess as a catcher. Is he underrated as a battery mate as far as calling games and how effective he's been with his pitching staff?
I mean, it should be. He won the Platinum Glove last year, which is better than the Gold Glove. He's the best defensive, player on the entire field. So they shouldn't. Probably, people don't talk enough about him calling game. I saw a stat there today where no pass balls the entire season. So he's a fabulous defensive catcher.
Bob, when you look at go over in the National League, all the eyes, at least for me, is Philly and LA. How do you size up this series, and who do you think has the edge going in?
Yeah, it's always a toss-up. A year ago when it was the Dodgers and Padres, that was really the World Series. Whoever won that was going to win the World Series. You get the same feeling here that, whoever comes out of this series is going to skate through and easily win it all. So it's tough. I give Dodgers a slight edge because of their starting pitching's been on fire lately. But then, with the way their bullpen is, all it takes is one big blown game. Mm-hmm. And then, the edge goes to Philadelphia. I think it's very important for the Phillies to win game 1. and had that momentum going forward. I think the Phillies lose game one, then I think they got some problems.
Bob, we had Jerry Harrison Jr. on. He's a LA Dodgers pre- and post-game host. We talked about that bullpen, and he hinted that the starters, they'd like to get the starters to go at least, if they could, push it to 7 innings. Ohtani taking a bump tomorrow. They said he's good for 6. Just a question mark whether he goes beyond that. But I think that the crux of the line of question was that the starters go as far as they can because of the bullpen of the Dodgers, or lack thereof.
Yeah, I mean, that's what, the other teams are, the Phillies are saying right now, hey, be patient. The Reds weren't. Be patient, get that pitch count up, and get in that bullpen. And they have no idea who's the first reliever, the second reliever. They're probably going to try Sasaki now as a closer. But, hey, they must have copped up a couple of games against the Reds. And the Phillies are a whole lot better than the Reds are.
USA Today baseball columnist Bob Nightengale joining Roc Manuch here. Bob, you being in Philadelphia, I know I'm putting the cart before the horse, but when it comes to Schwarber being a free agent after the season, what's the sense you feel being out there right now, if that's going to happen or not, if he goes back to Philly?
Well, I'd be absolutely shocked if he's not back in Philadelphia. He just means so much to that team. Forget about what he does at the plate, but in that clubhouse, I mean, he's one of the best team leaders in all of baseball. So no, they need him. They have to have him. So no matter what that total cost is, they got to bring him back, and they know it.
Bob, we know you got a press conference to go to. Thank you for fitting us in for a few minutes as always, man. We appreciate you taking care of your guys back in your hometown. So thanks. Have a good weekend.
Right,
enjoy the baseball.
All right.
Thank you, Bob.
Take care, guys. Thank you. Bye.
Bob Nightengale joining us here. You can follow him on Twitter at @bnightingale. As we got a few minutes with him as he gets ready for the Ohtani press conference in Philadelphia. But like I mentioned earlier, you have the Brewers, the Mariners, and the Blue Jays and Tigers who have had these title droughts. He has the edge to the Blue Jays, and they're going to play the Yankees, of course. So maybe you'll see Blue Jays in the winter, Detroit and Seattle. I think Seattle. I can't not look at the New York Yankees as a team that can advance. You can never bet against them.
Never count them out.
You really can't. I mean, they have so many weapons.
Well, tradition, legacy, they fail.
It's like, can these Blue Jays who they don't have a lot of postseason experience, can they handle the lights in New York? I mean, it opens in Toronto, but can they handle it when they get back to New York?
Sure. And I think those are some things you look at. It's all about the pitching, right? You just mentioned, hopefully the Dodgers can go long with their starters into at least 7 innings, because he's right. When this Dodger bullpen comes to the game, teams can get back into games unless they're up, 5, 6-1, 6-2. But I'm like you, Rock. I'm like, man, the Yankees are just, they find a way, one way or the other, in reference to just pretty much going about it. And then the Blue Jays quietly, there they are, winning the division, because we haven't seen a lot of the Blue Jays this year. So when guys like Bob Nightengale, USA Today columnist that follow it for a living day in and day out, he says, hey, look, this team is very good in reference to their pitching, overall hitting. But the one thing that I look at in reference to, you talking about Seattle and the Tigers. Tigers were leaking oil big time, and Seattle finished strong. And you think Suarez will get hot at any time soon. They'd love for him to get hot after having several days off. But with Raleigh and Naylor and this pitching staff, I mean, talk about a dark horse that if they can get beyond the Tigers and play the Yankees and or the Blue Jays, that's one of those dark horses that I'd put my money on for sure.
The Cubs-Brewers, it's such a rivalry already. The Cubs and Brewers played 13 times this season, and the Cubs won the season series. They won 7 of those 13. I'm pretty excited to see that. I think, how there's certain teams that are good for their sport to be playing in the postseason.
Yeah.
We think Nebraska football is good for college football if they're having success. Sure. I think the same is with Chicago Cubs. It's great for business in this city.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly. Last night I was at a place, arena, of course, and, it's packed with Cubs fans. It was absolutely packed, and it's just cool that there's so many Cubs fans out there.
And only one World Series win in how many years?
Yeah,
you think about that, and you see them back to where they are. And then the Brew Crew. The Brew Crew played, just phenomenal. But how about the irony of the Cubs going back to Milwaukee, and there he is, manager, Craig Counsell, the manager for the Cubs,
Mm-hmm.
going back home, so to speak. And I don't know if there's a little burn.
I'm sure there is.
From the Brewers to just kind of take care of business versus their former manager, who they feel pretty much abandoned them to go on to Chicago.
He clearly did.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, I would think the Chicago Cubs job is probably one of the best jobs in all of baseball.
Oh, sure.
Especially day games.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's great.
And how do you
turn a great fan base?
And how do you turn that kind of money down? I mean, the kind of money they paid him was just astronomical.
Milwaukee's small market, you know.
I just want to see some competitive games. I'd love to see.
Oh, they will be.
Go 7 games and every one of them be a lot of fun.
Bob Nightengale is brought to you today by All City Towing. They're Arizona's largest towing company where your career can take off. They're hiring now. Dispatchers, drivers, tons of jobs, steady schedules, great benefits, even a 401k match. So if you're looking for a change, go to allcitytowing.com and just search careers. That's All City Towing, where your future is on the move. All right, we got a new era of Suns basketball. It tips off tonight with the Lakers. Preseason, of course. No KD, no Beal. Got a couple guys injured we won't see in this first preseason game. But can Phoenix climb back into contention after what last year was just such a huge disappointment? We break down some of the biggest questions and storylines. But first, here is Connor with our ESPN 620 update.